Hey everyone, welcome to Jason Explains Things. It's time for another episode of the Old Dodge, working on my 1987 Dodge Ram D150. So back in 2018, I put out a video on how to replace the radiator on your truck. Today's video is actually going to be a really cool follow-up to that one. And when I pulled out the leaky but still pretty impressive OEM radiator and put in this aftermarket one, I said this. One thing's for sure is I think this one is built to last a little bit longer than that one. I mean, this one's from 1987, and I think that I don't think that this one's going to last quite as long. I mean, it is a lot of plastic on there, so I think it's going to work, but I just don't. I think probably in about 10 years I'll be putting another radiator in. Now, bad first impressions aside, this Duralast radiator has done the job fine for the past 3.5 years. My engine has never overheated, although it has definitely gotten really, really hot in the summer heat. And that's where this beauty comes in. We have here an all-aluminum 3-row performance radiator from Alloyworks. There is not a single piece of plastic on this thing. Well, once I take out these plastic plugs. So today we're gonna swap out my Duralast aftermarket radiator for this one. We're gonna compare the two side by side, and then I'll show you how easy it is to upgrade a radiator yourself. Now, full transparency time, Alloyworks did reach out to me and offer me this radiator for free in exchange for making a video about it. But they do not have approval over this video, they're not gonna see it early, and my opinions are my own. Assuming everything goes well and you're interested in picking up a performance radiator of your own, check the description because I'll have a 5% off discount code for you guys. So, prices still fluctuate, but at the time of filming, this radiator is only $50 more than the Duralast one. If this one installs easy and cools well, this is probably the best deal on a radiator I have seen. Well, enough chit chat, let's pull out the Duralast. Replacing a radiator is very easy and requires minimal tools. First, make sure your engine is cold. Never start draining coolant on a hot engine. Remove the radiator cap. Loosen the drain tap and allow the coolant to drain into a pan. You'll need a big one because the Dodge holds up to 4 gallons of coolant. Remember, coolant is poisonous for humans and pets, so clean up any spills. Next, I loosen the rubber radiator cover. It's held in with automotive pins that are easily removed with a trim tool. If you break a few, don't worry about it. They're available at most auto part and hardware stores. Disconnect the hose from the top of the radiator to the coolant reservoir. Next, I disconnected the fan shroud from the radiator. It's held in with 4 screws. Then, disconnect your upper radiator hose. Now is a great time to replace these hoses if they're old. How much mess am I gonna make? Hopefully not too much. Boop, boop, boop. Disconnect the lower radiator hose. Have a pan ready to catch the spills. Remove the 4 mounting bolts holding the radiator in place. Ooh, bugs. Last thing is remove and drain your coolant reservoir. Make sure it's clean and ready for new coolant. Now is also a great time to do a coolant flush if your old coolant was dirty. Mine was clean and the system was flushed only a few years ago, so I'm skipping that. The sun is starting to go down, but let's look at these two side by side. It is kind of amazing how different they actually are. So first thing I did is I went and I measured the dimensions of both radiators. So first off, looks like both are gonna have the same mounting holes, so I think this one's gonna swap in just fine. There is quite a difference in the bottom tanks and the top tanks. The Alloyworks radiators tanks are noticeably larger. The top tank is about 1/2 inch thicker. The bottom tank is about 1/2 inch thicker and 1/4 inch taller as well. Both tanks are also much more squared off. Another moment of transparency, when Alloyworks reached out to me to talk to me about this radiator and offer it to me for free, I was a little bit skeptical, to be honest, because first off, I have had kind of a bad luck run of when companies contact me and offer me free stuff. It often isn't that great. It often doesn't really work, and I often will start shooting a video and then you'll never see it because the product is just not great. So when I opened this and I saw this thing, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I am very impressed with the build quality. This CNC machined aluminum radiator cap is really, really heavy duty and nice. The fact that you get this really nice radiator cap included with the price, there only being about a $50 price difference between these two, and this one being all aluminum and coming with everything, I don't know. I mean, I'm being blunt. I probably would buy this myself. The last thing I want to bring up between these two radiators is the warranty. So with this one, with the Alloyworks, you get a 1-year full warranty. If there's any problems with it, you can email them, let them know, and swap it out for a new one or get all your money back. With the Duralast, you go to any AutoZone or I think Advanced Auto Parts, any store that sells Duralast, and you can get another one exchanged for it. So I've heard that there's a little bit of iffiness with the limited lifetime warranty. I've never actually had to use it myself, but I guess if I were to choose between warranties, the fact that you can just go down to a store and swap this out if a store is near you is probably better than this one. Although again, talking about build quality, looking at this, I would expect this to fail well before this. I mean, that's just, again, my bias for the materials. But again, I just love these welds. It's nearly perfect out of the box. It was packaged well. I'm not too worried about this one failing. So anyway, let's put it in. In my truck, one of the mounting holes didn't line up correctly on the new radiator, so I enlarged it with a step bit. Other than that, installation was smooth for the most part. Wow, this looks fantastic. The radiator is now installed. We got everything back together. The connections for the top hose, the lower hose, all fit great. Actually, maybe even a tiny bit better than the Duralast one because the bottom hose was always a little bit loose, so I had to really crank on that hose clamp, but not so much with this. It actually fit better, in my opinion. One thing that was slightly negative that I want to point out to you guys is attaching your fan shrouds. So these holes, these mounting holes lined up perfectly, but on the Duralast and the stock one, there actually are threads in here and there's no gap. But on here, there's a gap, so I needed to go to the hardware store and I needed to get 4 bolts and lock nuts to attach this, but everything lines up perfectly now. But just so you know, you're gonna have to probably go get some bolts to install this in your Dodge. We've got a couple more things to do and we're totally done. I've already filled up the radiator with new coolant, but I have not bled the air out of the whole coolant system yet. You got one cheap tool you're gonna need, and that's it. It's really, really easy. My old video showed how to do it. This video is gonna show how to do it too. All right, let's get after it. To bleed the air out of your coolant system, you'll need a spill-proof funnel kit. Make sure to use coolant that is stated to work with your vehicle. Remove your cap and install the funnel adapter and corresponding cap. For this kit, it was the red one. Securely put the funnel in place and fill it up about halfway from the top. Let the engine run until you see no bubbles. To speed up the process a little, you can squeeze the upper radiator hose to force some air out. Once all the bubbles are gone and your system is purged of air, plug up the funnel and store the coolant properly. Install your cap, fill up the reservoir tank to the max fill line, and check for any leaks. Your rad new radiator is installed. Well, everybody, it's been a week since we installed the radiator here on the old Dodge, and the new one has performed flawlessly. No cooling issues, no leaks, nothing like that. Of course, I wouldn't expect that to happen this quickly, so please subscribe and turn on notifications so I can update you if anything happens with this radiator over time. I've actually been driving the old Dodge a lot more lately because, at least for the time being, she's my daily driver because I sold my GTI, which is a little bit sad, but it was time, and something really cool is coming in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that. I'm checking my email a lot. Something really cool is happening. And it's gonna be kind of going in line with a lot of the stuff you've seen here lately on Jason Explains Things. But I'm gonna tell you one thing right now, definitively, the old Dodge is not going anywhere. Just because maybe something else with a truck bed is gonna show up doesn't mean that this one is gonna go away. Because I love this truck. I love the 8-foot bed. I love the manual transmission. I love the Ram on the hood. I love all of it. It's not going anywhere. But I've actually got several more projects planned for the Dodge, and I can tease one right now. Ha! We've got this. We've got some period correct fog lights from KC. We're gonna install those to the front bumper and mount a switch. So look for that coming in the next couple months. Another project that's gonna happen with the Dodge this year that I'm committing to right now is a spray-in bed liner. It is really necessary. We're getting some surface rust that developed over the winter, so you need a spray-in bed liner, it's gonna happen. Well guys, if you're interested in that Alloyworks radiator, please follow my link below for more information and use the discount code for 5% off. So until next time everyone, thanks for watching, God bless, and don't forget to do it yourself.